Marian Wright Edelman once said that democracy is not a spectator sport, and she was right. What I think we must realize here is that we desperately need to reevaluate our commitment to this cause. Your presence and participation in your organizations, in your meetings, in rallies is a first step towards the right direction. But what will you do tomorrow after the masses have scattered and the people have gone home? In order to keep moving forward, what we really need here is a revolution in thinking, a revolution in values, and a revolution in the way we approach the struggle. We need to start thinking about taking bold steps if we are really serious about achieving statehood for Puerto Rico, and history shows us no different. We can no longer accept the idea that if we stay in our homes, waiting for the next election cycle to come around, things will change. We can no longer keep doing the same things expecting different results. There is a reality that is staring us dead in the face, that we can no longer wait. Not while our schools are failing our children, not while a whole generation of our youth is being wiped out in the crime-ridden streets, not while thousands are put into slavery by drugs, not while thousands of our people leave the island for the mainland in search of opportunities they could otherwise have right here at home. And certainly not while each and every single day we witness a piece of our society crumble around us little by little, and it's catching up.
Just let me go round one circle of seasons, one season round with you. Just let me share the full life in each moment, full of each moment. Just let me go round one circle of seasons. Just let me go round one circle of seasons, one season round with you. Just let me share the full life in each moment, life full of each moment. Sunshine, snow, rain, so much to discover. As the seasons unfurl, as the seasons shine, as the seasons curl up and sleep, and are born again with you. Just let me go round one circle of seasons.
Tonight, most of us will go to a house not unlike a prison which we call home, to a structure not much different than that of a jail cell. Your streets and neighborhoods are no longer safe, no matter what time of day it is. I know many people place the blame for the debacle we are facing on this government, while others place the blame on governments that came before. But one must ask, how can any government really govern that which is ungovernable? That is not to say that our governments should not be held accountable. Even with the limits that restrain them, they can still take steps to prepare our island for an eventual change towards statehood. But to discover what is the true source that is the cause of most of our ills that urgently need redress, we must look beyond the governmental structure itself and inspect the institutions that control even the political bodies that created them. And when we do, we find the source. And no, it is not the Commonwealth, for that is just a name. It is the unjust political, social, and economic regime that is ascribed to us by both law and will, and that is now threatening our existential right to pursue a better way of life. We must understand, perhaps we must be made to understand, that there is no greater problem that atrophies our progress than the question of our political status. Why? Because we're dealing with problems that can only be solved if we come together as a community, as an organized society, as a family. And if there is one thing that is preventing us from doing so, it is the status problem. Some still think that even under the status quo, we can look past our differences, come together and work for that better way of life we all want so badly. To those that think this way, I ask in return, when has colonialism ever been a driving force of unity for a people? History and our own tragic experience tells us that in fact, quite the contrary is true. Most of us gathered here because we have hope. In fact, one could say that the statehood movement has a surplus of hope, but one must also recognize that we have had a deficit of action. In the introduction for his book, Why We Can't Wait, Dr. Martin Luther King gives a profound description of what was happening to his people. He saw the state of affairs they were in. He felt it. He experienced it. He saw the injustice and the suffering all across the country without necessarily having to be there. I say this because I believe that he saw with a set of eyes that did not use the sense of sight, but a sense we all too often ignore. He felt, and when he did, he also felt compelled. And what compelled him and many others to action was the very hope this movement, the statehood movement, has so much of. Dr. King illustrates the awakening of his people into action by saying that, quote, "The boy in Harlem had stood up. The girl in Birmingham arose. Separated by stretching miles, both of them squared their shoulders and lifted their eyes toward heaven. Across the miles, they joined hands and took a firm forward step. It was a step that rocked the richest, most powerful nation to its foundations. This is the story of that boy and that girl. This is the story of why we can't wait." End quote. And I tell you, our story will probably be not much different because we can't wait either. What we need here is for that boy from the Puerto Rican countryside to stand up. We need that girl from the Puerto Rican city to arise. We must square our shoulders and lift our eyes towards heaven. And across the distances that divide our mountains from our cities, we must join hands and together take a firm forward step, without any fear or uncertainty, for we already live in fear and already live in uncertainty, and we must overcome. They say one man or one woman can change the world, and that may be true, but only together can we take control of our future.
Oh, say, lights last week, those broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so guided.